Good afternoon. This is Jim Whitehead of All Power Group. I'm always happy to be here. You know, when you get to be my age, you always like every day's great because you're still here. And then you're still here. So, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Happy New Year again. I know we're going to have a good year because we're going to make sure we have a good year. Anyway, today we're going to talk about a neat mystery. Tell a good story. It's the case of the silent witness in the town of Everwood. It involves a dog, a parrot, a doctor, a pet store owner, and a lot of blood. But generally speaking, crime does not pay. Okay, we start off where we see that in this quiet town of Everwood, where secrets lurked behind every closed door, a shocking murder shattered the peace. As you see, this is Dr. Elias Hopper, a respected veterinarian. He was found dead in his clinic late one evening. Yeah, he looks dead. Okay, the police were baffled. There were no signs of forced entry, no witnesses, and only a strange series of paw prints smeared in the blood leading away from the scene. Wow. Enter Rufus, and you're looking at Rufus, a retired police canine. Rufus was a scruffy German Shepherd who lived, and you see her there, with Detective Clara Reed, his former partner. You know, and just a quick aside, animals in the sense of either military or police duty are wonderful. And God bless them every day, right? Through officially retired, and again, a dog would, when they pass away, and we hope they never would, but they do, they never retire. But Rufus still had a nose for trouble and for solving it. When Clara was assigned to the case, she decided to bring Rufus along, hoping his instincts might shed light on the crime. Now here, let's look at some of the clues. The clues at the crime scene, Rufus immediately picked up on something no human could: a faint, lingering scent of another animal. Interesting. Clara followed as Rufus sniffed his way through the clinic, pausing at a locked storage room. Inside, they found an agitated parrot. You can see our parrot there in a large cage, squawking loudly. The bird, named Max, and you see Max in the lower left, had belonged to Dr. Hopper and was the only witness to this murder. Now he's all dressed dressed for, being ready. Max repeated phrases, and they were eerie. No, please. Stay back. Knife. Blood. That is what the parrot was saying. Clara knew parrots could mimic speech, but wondered if Max's words were a clue or just random chatter. Rufus, however, was focused on something else. He sniffed the parrot's cage and growled softly before darting toward the clinic's back door where bloody paw prints began. So here we have Rufus led Clara to an alley behind the clinic where he stopped at a dumpster. Inside, he found a torn shirt. You see that on the right, lower right, with bloodstains, and a single black cat crouched nearby, staring with unblinking green eyes. You see the cat. It's all coming together. Claire noticed the cat had a collar. The collar had a tag reading Luna. So the cat's name is Luna, and it says property of Jasper Klein. Now you'll see in just a minute or so, Jasper Klein, his pictures in the lower left, was a local pet store owner with a shady reputation. Why be a pet store owner and have a shady reputation? Anyway, I don't write these. I just try to explain them. Am I lucky or what? I do this and have fun every day. I learn new things. He had recently had a public, here we go, here's where we're seeing the problem. He had a public argument with Dr. Harper over alleged illegal animal trade practices. Now, as you know, there unfortunately is a lot of illegal trade in the world, in the United States also, of course, where animals that should not be brought into this country or are not pets could be dangerous, are bought and brought home. Now, a pet store owner would say, where do I make more money? Do I make more money on just selling parakeets? By the way, my mother always had a parakeet. Or will I make more money if I sell animals that are in the back room that are illegal and not allowed to be sold? Good question. Now, the breakthrough, Max the parrot became the star witness during the interrogation. Max suddenly blurted, "Jasper, don't repeat," in a tone eerily similar to Dr. Harper's voice. So, right there, Max is saying and repeating what the doctor said. And it was, Jasper, don't. And it mimicked the doctor's voice. Not smart by Mr. Jasper there. Jasper grew visibly nervous, and Rufus growled low whenever Jasper moved. So I think there's a good logical point that they're heading in the right direction of knowing what happened. They have the bloody shirt. They have the words that our wonderful parrot is saying. And Rufus, the dog, is saying, I know, I can smell something not going well. So, okay. Clara, the detective, decided to test Jasper further by presenting him with a bloody shirt. As she laid it out, Rufus barked and pointed his nose toward Jasper, confirming his involvement. Now, God bless them, and I say things that, just come to my mind, which is good. How do animals feel? And I know they wouldn't, all animals, in my opinion, are basically good and honest. And I know you're probably saying, how do you know that? Well, thank goodness they haven't been taught to do bad things. They can be trained, if in the event they are doing weird things, to stop. And they will always be there for you. If that isn't the epitome or the bottom line on some of this. Anyway, confronted with the evidence, Jasper broke down and confessed. Now you can see where he is now with the detective and being in very strong, can't move your arm or head, which is cool. Jasper admitted he had confronted Dr. Hopper that night, demanding he stay quiet about Jasper's illegal exotic animal dealings. The whole point is don't do anything wrong, because you probably won't get away with it, because people just aren't good at covering their tracks. And when you have a great detective involved, Clara, you have Rufus, the parrot, you have, our wonderful dog, Max's parrot. But bottom line, they laid out the case like they wrote the book. Anyway, he goes on to say things had escalated and Jasper stabbed Dr. Hopper in a panic. He hadn't noticed Max overhearing everything, and certainly hadn't counted on a parrot and a retired canine solving the case. Now, this is what we would call as justice served. Thanks to Rufus's sharp instincts and Max's unexpected testimony, Jasper was convicted. Rufus became a local hero once again. You know, again, he had done probably 158 wonderful things. So everybody in the town of Everwood knew he was a hero. But they could see that he still was a hero. And how did he get paid? He got treats. Now, if that isn't, like some would say, oh, come on, shouldn't he have had more than that? But he got all the affection from the townsfolk. Max found a new home with Clara, and he often joked about having two brilliant detectives under one roof who barked, one who barked and one who squawked. So there we go. And so, kind of the end is here. Oh, by the way, oh, gee, I didn't see anybody on board. Before we get to the very end, well, let me get to the very end. Also, and so Everwood slept peacefully one more time, knowing that even the smallest voices and the keenest noses could bring justice to light. Anyway, I want to thank some of my people that are online today with me. One is Momo. Thank you for saying it's a good story. I look and it's like with anything, you try to see and get the best story in the world. Welcome. Now we've got Neo Monaire. Hello. Thank you for being here. We have, well, Nameless. What are you talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is just a murder and dogs and parrots being involved in this neat town called Everwood, and they solve the crime along with the detective Clara. That's what I'm talking about. And the moral of the story is crime does not pay. You always get caught. And you know, the funny thing, the joking thing sometimes when people say, when they talk about lying, they go, the problem with lying, if you lie, you have to remember everything you lied about. So, you know, and I'm 75 and I still have the point of where you've got to be honest. Just be honest. That's what it should be. And if you're honest, you don't have to remember what you said. So if you tell a lie and somebody says, hey, and you got to remember what you said is a lie. I'm not saying that personally you wouldn't say, gee, I don't remember something, but the point is, never lie. And you'll feel real good about it. Take my word for it. Also, we have, and then Rodo. What a good name. You know, it's funny. I see all these names. My name is Jim. But anyway, Rodo, it's good to see you. And Nameless, I don't think this is true. I hope not. But Nameless, who's nameless, I drowned my puppies because I couldn't feed them. Nameless, I sure hope this is, you're just kidding. Go ahead. If you want to comment before I shut down, just to say you were kidding, then everybody will be happy. So what do you think? Are you going to say you... No, Nameless is still sticking by a story that, and I don't believe it. I don't believe it. You never would do that. I don't know you, but I know that you would not do that. So, Momo, the Momo, Neo, Nameless, Roto, and Nameless again. Thank you so much for being here. By the way, try to subscribe. And I don't ask that very often, but, and some say don't do it, some say do it. But it really is what gets us moving forward and allows us to have a ball doing all this stuff. So anyway, thank you I've got 1 like, which is good. And anyway, I want to thank you so much for being here. And I will look forward to the next story. And it takes quite a while to put these together because, again, you've got to have, of course, the story, which is relatively straightforward, but then you got to pull all your content, the pictures of the dog, Max the parrot, the doctor, the Clara, the detective, et cetera, et cetera. You all have to have these set to go, and the bloody shirt, But anyway, thank you. And I really appreciate you being here today. This has gone on for about 20 minutes, but I really, really appreciate it. And have a good rest of the day. I'm going to. And thank you again.